Humanity has lived alongside the ocean. It is a source of life, a highway for exploration, and a provider of bounty. But this serene blue expanse holds a terrifying dormant power, a power capable of unleashing unimaginable destruction. It is the phenomenon we know as the tsunami, a colossal wave of energy that reshapes our coastlines and rewrites history. But how does science explain this force of nature, and how do ancient cultures, without our modern tools, understand these cat- catastrophic events? Today, we will journey to the intersection of fact and legend, to the depth of the Pacific Ocean, where the cold logic of tectonic plates meets the very myth of a giant catfish and a graphophone guard. To understand a tsunami, we must first look beneath the waves to the very floor of the ocean. The Earth's crust is not a single solid shell, it is broken into massive pieces called tectonic plates. These plates are constantly, albeit slowly, moving. They slide past one another, they pull apart, and most importantly for our story, they collide. When one plate is forced beneath another in a process called subduction, immense pressure and stress build up over centuries. The rocks along the boundary lock together, storing energy like a car spring. Eventually, the stress becomes too great. The lock fracture and snap, releasing all that pent-up energy in a violent shudder. This is an underwater earthquake. The sea floor above the rupture suddenly deforms. It might lurch upward or drop downward by several meters. This dramatic displacement of a huge volume of water is the genesis of a tsunami. In the deep ocean, this wave is deceptively unremarkable. It can be less than a meter high, with a wavelength stretching hundreds of kilometers. It moves at the speed of a jet airliner up to 800 kilometers per hour, but it passes silently and unnoticed beneath ships. There is not a single wave, but a series of waves, a chain of energy racing across the open sea. The true nature of the tsunami is revealed only as it approaches the coastline. The ocean becomes shallower. The bottom of the wave begins to drag on the seafloor, slowing it down, but the top of the wave is still moving at tremendous speed. This forces the entire mass of water to compress and pile up, growing dramatically in height. What was a barely noticeable swell in the deep ocean becomes a towering, powerful wall of water. Sometimes it crashes ashore as a breaking wave. Other times it manifests as a terrifying rapid and relentless tide that just keeps rising, flooding miles inland. The force of the water is immense, crushing buildings, sweeping away trees and vehicles, and reshaping the very land it touches. The aftermath is often a landscape of utter devastation. This is the tsunami we see and fear, a natural disaster of the highest order. Modern science, with its networking of seabed, sensor, and buoys, gives us a precious minutes to warn and evacuate, a critical defense against this oceanic fury. But long before we understood plate tectonics, the people of Japan, a nation perennially struck by earthquakes and tsunamis, needed an explanation. They crafted a story, a myth that personified the chaos of nature. Their explanation lay not with shifting plates, but with a giant, monstrous catfish named Namazu. According to legend, Namazu resides in the moon beneath the island of Japan. He is a relentless and powerful creature. His slightest movement causes the ground to tremble. But why doesn't he constantly shake Japan to pieces? Because he is held in check by a powerful god, Kashima. Kashima uses milestone, the Kaname easy, to pin Namazu's head down, keeping him still and the land stable. The myth says that when Kashima is negligent, when he becomes distracted or leaves his post to attend meetings of the gods, his god sleeps. The pressure on the Kaname Ishi lessens. Seizing these opportunities, the giant catfish thrashes about in a furious struggle to free himself. This violent thrashing is what causes massive earthquakes on the surface. And the tsunami that was the result of Namazu's powerful tail. As the giant catfish flew and struggled, his enormous tail would slap the water and the surrounding mud, churning the sea and sending enormous waves crashing onto the land. The ocean wasn't just rising, it was the direct result of a divine punishment or a moment of cosmic negligence. This myth was more than just a story. It was a cultural coping mechanism. It gave a name and a face to an otherwise random and incomprehensible event. It wasn't just geology, it was the anger of a creature, the failure of God. Interestingly, Namazu was also sometimes seen as a necessary evil. His upheavals, while destructive, were believed to redistribute wealth and shake up the social order, a small consolation for the suffering endure. The parallel between the ancient myth and modern science are strikingly beautiful. The restless Namazu stirring in the mud is a poetic analog for the restless tectonic plates grinding against each other. The build-up of stress on the fault line is mirrored by the building pressure of Namazu against the Kaname Ishi stone. The sudden release of the earthquake is Namazu's thrashing, and the tsunami is the catastrophic result of that energy being transferred to the ocean. The myth, in its own word, correctly identified the epicenter of the disaster as being beneath the land and sea of Japan, a remarkable intuition centuries before the theory of plate tectonics were accepted. Today, we don't rely on Kashima to keep watch. We have seismographs and devotion assessment and reporting of tsunami systems. But the legend of Namazu endure. It is a powerful reminder of our answer need to explain the world around us, and a testament to the hope humans read that seeks to find meaning, even in the face of nature's most awesome and destructive power. From the furious thrashing of the mythical catfish to the calculated shape of continental slabs, our understanding of the tsunamis has evolved, yet both narratives speak to the same truth. We live on a dynamic and powerful planet. The ocean's serenity is profound, but its anger is equally deep. By respecting the science, we save lives, and by remembering the stories, we honor the wisdom of those who came before us, who looked at a raging sea and saw not just water, but the tale of a god stirring in the depths. Thank you for watching.